Hello, true believers. This is Babbitt Only. Time to do another vlog, and I just want to say thank you very much, Jim Bob, for another contribution. He's made a lot of contributions, and he just made one actually yesterday. I was supposed to make this vlog yesterday, but I had other content I needed to upload, so I decided to do it today. And he sent a very generous contribution, and what I want to say is that I'm going to be applying it to Heroes reservation for this upcoming school year. So let's just take a look at this. So we got this bill. It says, "Dear parents, sending warm greetings, and here's hoping that this letter finds you well. As the current academic year is about to end, we now begin preparations for the next, as school's operation is heavily dependent on its population. In this regard, we are sending this correspondence to remind our partners the importance of reserving a slot." Now, my only comment here, yes, it's very expensive, but for a year now, a year and a half, the school has been closed. So I don't know exactly what these expenses are because they have zero expenses, but we're still paying the full tuition. But that's another discussion. And you would think that they would give it like a discount or something like that, but apparently no, there is no discount. So, but like I said, that's a discussion for another, that's a topic for another discussion another time. We just have to do, if you want to continue school, we just got to do what we have to do here. The non-refundable and non-transferable reservation fee remains in the amount of 5,000 pesos. I repeat, 5,000 pesos, which is about $100, and it is deductible from the total amount, total assessment payable upon enrollment. We have set on May 31st, so we actually already made the payment as payment deadline. Today is May 16th. Failure to do so means allowing us to assign slots to transferees. So they want to know how many people are reserved. So if there's anybody that drops out or transfers, then they can allow other students in. For example, Hero is actually a transferee last year. If you have yet to receive rebates of tuitions and fees, it might be applied automatically as part of your reservation fee for academic year 2021-2022. This shall apply across all integrated school levels from nursery, grade 10, and senior high school. In this case, your child has an so what I just wanted to say with this is it's 5,000 pesos. So I'm actually going to apply Jim Bob's and Quincy's contribution to cover this $100 reservation fee. And you're probably asking, well, how much is the total tuition? And the total tuition here, let me actually get it. It's actually here. So I can give you last year's tuition from June 20 to May 20. So so this is the whole, just the tuition alone, 100,000. So about $2,000. And he had to take a remedial class because he's a new transferee, and the reservation paid last year. So altogether, so the tuition alone was 108,000. So so let's just say like $2,200. So I repeat, $2,200. Now normally that's every year, and normally that wouldn't be a problem for us, but because of the circumstances, I've been in prison for the last 3 years. Of course, it bankrupted me. We're running on auxiliary, and why? Because this guy over here. This is the Philippine National Police Chief Inspector John Paris. He had to steal money, and here's the evidence over here. As you could see, here's my credit card statement, and he had my credit card and he used it all up. As you could see, he even spent $3,000 at a restaurant over here. But I already did a video of this, and you already saw the Bitcoin, and you already saw that my credit cards were in their custody because they took my wallet and the money inside, and they stole it. And that's probably the most important thing we have to talk about today is especially with Brain Dead and his cult followers, because they can't seem to put two and two together, or they refuse to put two and two together. Everybody always says I'm a rapist, I'm a child trafficker, and things all that, right? But as you could see clearly, these are all, this is the judge, this is the court's ruling, this is the judge's own words. It says, yes, however, until it reaches, because everybody, all the cult followers, this is their favorite saying is that the cult followers say that I won on a technicality, or I won because I paid them off. And they refuse to see the reason why, that they even though you show them in black and white, this is official court documents. This is a judge's words. Okay. So here, the judge says the court may tend to agree with her and the actuations of the accused of himself with girls of minor age, maintaining internet accounts with unsavory content, and even establishing beyond border connections. So when we did our demurrer, we said, yeah, absolutely, we agree. Okay, we're not going to fight it. All that they're saying is true. So the judge says, this is how I won the case. This is in the words, see? But people don't want to, they still want to continue, even though I'm showing it to you in black and white right in your face. However, until it reaches that point shown by concrete evidence, then only suspicion may be reached, may be excited. Only suspicion may be excited from everyone's mind. Okay, so you have this, so you're saying all these things, but that's all suspicion. You still need concrete evidence for there to be a crime, because if there's no evidence, there is no crime. I mean, what my charges are rape and human trafficking. Look, here's your evidence. Okay, the breasts, they're conical. Okay, look, 15 years old. But let's be realistic here. Look at Tracy Lords. All her porn movies, she made it when she was 15 years old. I repeat, if you don't know who Tracy Lords is, she was the biggest porn star in the 80s. And everybody who grew up in the 80s, if you grew up in the 80s, if you there, you know that you were self-pleasuring to Tracy Lords. And she was only 15. Does that make you a pedophile also? Because you self-pleasured yourself to Tracy Lords, which all of America was doing. Of course, you're not going to admit it. You're not going to say it, because you're a hypocrite. I was probably at that age at that time. I remember watching Tracy Lords. Okay. And just like Tracy Lords, her breasts were conical, no injuries. Her body, this is a rape exam. Okay. Imagine how clean this rape exam is. Imagine the doctor. Imagine the person, imagine the parents, imagine the doctors. Okay, this girl was never raped. Okay, but we're going to force her to get examined anyway. Okay, so imagine that. Here's the exam. You were never raped, but you're going to go get a rape exam anyway. Think about that. Put that in your mind and process it. Of course, if you're a cult follower, you're not going to process that. But imagine, put yourself in this girl's shoes. I've never been raped. I've never been touched. Okay, but all of a sudden, I'm going to go through a rape exam. Because why? Because this person told him to. They said, you're going to do this. Why? Because we stole this person's money. Look at this. We stole this person's money. So that means you're going to have to go through a rape exam even though you were never raped. Imagine if you're that age, you've never shown your vagina to a strange man, but you're going to do it because this person had to steal money. Okay? And that's another thing that cult followers can't seem to put together also, is that I went to prison. Okay? And the reason why I went to prison is because I'm a rapist. There's no other reason why. Okay, they don't want to believe, you could show it to them that this is the organized crime of the Philippines because of money. I went to prison because this person had to steal money. Okay, and he had to do, and part of that was doing a rape report, and by miracle of God, that the girl that I was supposedly trafficking, and see, people are still going to say that I'm a rapist. People are going to say even I'm a trafficker, even though there's no evidence, because because that's your intent. This is not Minority Report. A crime has to happen first. Okay. And if there is no crime, there is no evidence. I mean, look at it. I'm showing it to you right here. Oh, he still won on a technicality, even though the cops are illegally stole his Bitcoins, even though the cops illegally had a search warrant, even though they didn't have a search warrant, they still illegally opened it. It's still, I'm still, because that's a definition of a cult follower. Okay, right or wrong, especially wrong, they're still going to follow. They're still going to believe their cult leaders and their other cult members. That I still won on a technicality. So I went to prison, not because this person had to steal money. I went to prison because I'm a rapist. That's why. Okay, even though you say, look, the hymen has a notch, no injuries, no signs of any recent injuries. Okay, this is a legal official document. And what's the conclusion? No genital injuries at the time of examination. No signs of rape. No evidence of rape or unwanted remarks. This is a victim of sexual abuse and child pornography. And how do you do child abuse and how do you do pornography like Tracy Lords if you're still a virgin? See, oh no, he still won a technicality. He's still a rapist. I didn't rape anybody. Yes, you did. Look at the medical legal report. I have medical legal report saying you're wrong. I'm still right because I'm a cult follower. Because that's the reason why I say, oh, what about this? You know, this person had to steal money. This person had to use my credit cards. Okay, what? I paid them off. Yes. Illegally, they got paid off. Okay, but of course, because we're cult followers, you're still going to believe that. Okay, I already showed you documentation that they have custody of my credit cards. It's signed, and then they all, where is it in this document that said that I won on a technicality? This judge says that, yes, he used the internet. You already said that. The court agrees with you that I'm on the internet, that I have relationships with these young girls that are still virgins, and I have connections with the foreigners. But until then, it's all just suspicion. Okay, the judge says, okay, so for everybody that continues to keep saying that I paid them off, for everybody to keep saying that one of the, to me, to be sure, it may be contended that the accused did to these three minors were a prelude to him offering their sexual services to others utilizing their, so that's what everybody's saying, as it may seem plausible under the circumstances with the accused apparently being shown to deeply be involved in maintaining blogs where scantily dressed women. But there is no evidence here adduced. There is no evidence of what all of you are saying. And why don't they have any evidence? What do you want them to do? They already had a search warrant. They searched my house and terrorized my family for 4 hours, which everybody in Brain Dead is very happy about. No evidence here is adduced. Until then, the contention, while consistent with profiling, remains merely a supposition. Under the proposed rule, if the evidence admits two interpretations, one which is consistent with guilt and the other one which is innocence, the accused must be given the benefit of the doubt and should be acquitted. I am acquitted. I don't know how else to get this statement through you. Okay, all those things you're saying, this judge has already said after he listened to all, not you, you're not the judge. You didn't see all the evidence. You didn't see all the equipment and all the testimonies. You didn't listen to that. He did, and he's the judge. If the evidence admits to it and one is innocent, then by law, by virtue, by God-given right. So the following is illustrative. So he was talking about this is how this is your basic standard. Even the police, I don't know why the police don't know this. Okay, here's your basic human trafficking. Okay, so here it is. So for you who don't understand how human trafficking works here in the Philippines, this is how it works. Here's a basic 101. The presence of the crime of the elements was established by the prosecution of the witnesses who testified during the trial. The young victims themselves testified on their respective ages and how they were lured by Harang to participate in the latter's illicit sex trade. Harang recruited the girls to become victims of sexual abuse and exploitation, mainly upon promise of financial benefit. The girls agreed and thus joined him on June in meeting with the Korean customers, okay, in search of prostitutes. Police authorities personally witnessed Harang's unlawful activity and they conducted the entrapment operations. Let's see here. arrested him around after the transaction with the supposed customers and received payment therefore. Okay. So I don't know how else to explain it here. Okay. So we're talking about the entrapment. Where are the Korean customers in my entrapment? So we already put the rape accusation to rest already. Okay, because the girl is still a virgin. How can you rape somebody and they still be a virgin? That's a miracle. Okay, now cult followers are not going to be able to put that together. There's probably several reasons, several factors. One of the major ones is number one, they're uneducated. Number two, they've got personal issues. What those are, we can get into. A lot of emotion that goes into it. Jealousy, anger, frustration. Hey, I know life is not fair. There's plenty of documentation how life has been unfair, especially to me. I'm making vlogs. I got no AdSense. I've been in prison. I've been a product of a broken family. So I've been through that. I get it. But I'm not going to do what this person is going to do to another human being. Okay? Everybody's talking about I'm supposed to be helping children. Yes, I have documentation of that. See, but if you're a cult follower, you're not going to be able, you're not going to pay attention to that. You're not going to look at Joy and her children. They have every advantage now in the world because of me. Now think about that. If I never got involved, if I was never born, where would Joy be now? She'd be in Angeles City still somewhere. And what is she doing there? Probably single mom with kids. And we know what people here in the Philippines, when they're desperate and they're a single mom, what they do. But because of me, I actually made a difference. I didn't just do a feeding program. I just didn't feed them for the day. You give them fish for the day. That's what Brain Dead and his cult followers, they're not doing it for these people because they'll be hungry again. They'll be even more hungrier after this way. They're doing it for themselves so they can get their jollies and feel good about it. So they can feel good. So they're doing it for themselves. So what about me? Yeah, I enjoyed helping Joy, and that's just part of my legacy, and nobody's ever going to deny it. That she is in a better place and her children is in a better place because of me. And nobody's going to, and of course the cult followers are not going to acknowledge that. You know, these are these children that I'm saving over here. I'm not going to be able to save everybody, but at least everybody could see that I saved one person from her life of poverty. And what did you do? You're going to attack, the cult followers are going to attack the person who made that difference. Okay, it's clearly say they're still attacking. Never mind the help that I did. Never mind that I made a difference. Okay, but when we got these cult followers, their biggest problem why they're attacking me is they have no idea. They can't do the same thing. I have like this ability that I'm gonna go and make a difference, and these people can't make it even difference to themselves. I mean, look at their cult leader, Brain Dead. What is his lot in life? He just goes to the Philippines and starts cheating. He's cheating on these girls, and he'll say that, oh, we broke up, we broke up, and the reason why is because he's cheating. Okay, once over here the Filipinos devote themselves to you. They're never gonna leave you unless you are cheating on them and they can't stand it anymore. So imagine look at me and my personality. A Filipino will never leave me, right? And because I have what I believe it's a commitment to my family, okay, to myself, to my loved ones, okay, versus Brain Dead. He just uses them, abuses them, and kicks them out, okay, and what are they better off for it? The best thing is I'm glad that he was trapped, so he can't be doing this again to another person. So he's trapped with the baby. Hemi says that baby's got a big head. It's probably as big as Brain Dead's head is probably it. But if you're probably, the proportions are probably all wrong. But anyway, enough about his family. We'll leave it at that, okay? I have a certain respect for other people's family, and this is where I should do a video on white privilege over here, where like, okay, it's okay for you to do it. I'll give you an example. Look at Bernie Madoff, the greatest Ponzi scheme swindler, stole money from billions, and the reason why he got away with it, one of the main reasons why he got away with it was because he's white. Clearly he's white because of that's white privilege. billions and billions of dollars because of what, and even with a name like Madoff. Okay, it's like, yeah, here we got the. I want you to invest in some money. All right, who is it? His name is Madoff. Madoff. Why would I invest my money in money with somebody named Madoff? That's just a foreshadowing of what is going to happen to my money. He's gonna Madoff with my money. Doesn't matter, even with his name Madoff, just as long as he's white, he can get away with it. I'll give you an extreme example. Wesley Snipes, okay, he went to prison for what? Okay, because he didn't steal other people's money. It was his own money that he's trying to keep the government from stealing. Okay, whenever I'm in a situation where it's the government versus an individual, of course, I don't trust the government. They're so corrupt, especially in American government. Wesley Snipes, he didn't steal anybody's money. It's his own money he's trying to keep, and he went to prison. Versus Madoff, they investigated him. It's like, oh, he's white. He didn't do anything wrong. Versus Wesley Snipes, he's black. He's successful. He's got money. He must be doing something wrong. He's not paying his taxes. Got him. Okay, not because. So we got a perfectly fine example. They even investigated Madoff, and they still, oh, we don't see anything over here. But we got Wesley Snipes, who's keeping his own money. He didn't steal any money. He didn't raid anybody's trust fund. Anyway, back to so same thing with brain dead. Okay, of course, white people are going to be upset at it. I didn't even make up that term, white privilege. I'm just making an example. The point I'm making here is that a brain dead is in that category. And in his defense, when you're born into it, you don't really notice it. You don't really see it. Only the people that are not born into it, of course, it's obvious to us, but it's not going to be obvious to someone who is born with it. But that's just their behavior. Okay, then they could do things to other people, and it's okay because I'm white. I could do it to them. Well, what happens if somebody does it to you? Oh, you can't do that to a white person. And so you could do those things to my family, and it's okay with you. It's okay. Okay. Hey, I said I'm sorry. That's a good deed. Also, you see where this white privilege is coming from. Same thing. They can, even if you show them that's black and white, there's documentation. The judge said, okay, here's what happened. Here it is. Okay, they're still gonna believe. Oh, okay, I'm gonna keep believing that he won, not because of his innocence, not because there's no evidence of it. I'm gonna still keep believing he's a rapist, even though the girl that is accusing me, their main star witness, who is a victim of child pornography, is still a virgin. Even if you could show this to them. Oh, okay, and then so why did you go to prison then? That's a question. It's like, even if you show them, well, because they stole money. So the person they stole money from, they got to keep in prison, so it never comes out. Okay, and because I said I'm gonna have my day in court, the judge is gonna hear. You see, they're not thinking about that. See, they're not thinking about the judge. They're not thinking about the future. They're just thinking about the now. Okay, these people have no, like animals. Okay, they're just thinking about what I can do now. And right now, who cares about the consequences in the future? Okay, because because this person, he has a point. In his defense, he's no longer with us. You know, if I'm going to be no longer joining the society within a year, am I going to care about whose credit cards I'm using, whose Bitcoins I'm using? You see, this is where the cult followers can't seem to connect that. They live in their own reality. They live in their own perception, even though it's not reality. So, how far are you going to get in life if you're not living in the real world? I mean, see, this is the biggest problem they have with me, is because I can live in the reality and know this, so I can make a difference. Now, if you're a cult follower and your leader is not living in the reality, then there's no way you can ever make a difference like I can. And that's not my fault. It's not my fault that you can't, and then now you're going to have to attack the people. Since you can't live in reality, you can't accept what's black and white, what's in front of you, and you're going to keep continuing thinking what you're thinking, even though it's wrong, then how are you going to make a difference, not only with other people, but yourselves? How are you going to, you're going to be miserable, and you only have one life to live. So what I'm saying is stop the madness. You can do it right now, even though you've had years and years of living in this false reality, this false perception. You could stop now and just say, Bevitz only is right. I should accept the reality, but The other, in their defense, is ignorance is bliss. Remember in the movie The Matrix, if you haven't seen it, been living in Iraq for decades, The Matrix has a very good point about ignorance is bliss. Okay, and these people, and who am I to be attacking their ignorance, their bliss? Okay, they want to continue that this makes them happy that I'm a rapist, and this nothing makes them more unhappy than seeing this documentation that I'm not a rapist. So even after they see it, they're still going to continue believing that I'm a rapist, even though I'm not. They're still going to continue, I'm a trafficker. How do you traffic and the person, how do you traffic a person and after you traffic them, they're still a virgin? Okay. Oh, we have suspicion. The judge already said suspicion is not evidence. So if you want to make, so you want ignorance is bliss, that's fine. But don't stop coming here if you want if you want your ignorance, if you want your bliss to be disrupted or to be burst or to pop your bubble. Okay. Because you're going to end up like this guy also. He's swimming with the fishes somewhere, is what I assume. But even to this day, after he disappeared, he's still no longer to be found. The point I'm making here is don't end up like this person. Live in the reality. Think about the past. Think about all of that, and think about what's real and what's actually happening. Okay, and I probably want to just close this off. That back to why I created this video first in the first place is that with something positive is that it's been 6 months since I've been out of prison. It was an experience that I should be talking about, that I should be sharing more about. It's on my list of things to do. It just depends on what time I have available. The gym and the football field finally opened up, so I usually do my vlogs in the morning, and then in the afternoon after lunch, that's when we start doing our exercise. Life moves on, life continues. We've got the kids, we've got their football, we've got, as you can see, with tuition. And I just want to say that even after all this, even we go, it's a nasty world. It's an ugly world. Okay. And then we got people that are just their ignorance, and there's so much bliss in there. So in the Matrix, I wanted to make the point that there was this character in there. I forgot his name. I should do a video on it. I'll put it on my list of things to do. What the cult followers, who the cult followers are, or what they do. It's like, yes, the Matrix is fake. Yes, this is not real. Yes, everything is just a program. I'm just sitting in a pod. But oh my goodness, ignorance is bliss. Okay, and then all of a sudden, I'm Neo, and I'm saying that it's not real. It's all fake. And of course, you're going to be angry at me, and you're going to attack me for it. And the Matrix has so much allegories and so many metaphors. I mean, Neo is supposed to be Jesus in that movie. And just like people attacking me, even though I'm innocent, as you can see, I have evidence of it. And clearly, there is no paying off. If anything, the police stole the money. Then how's the money involved? They stole it. Okay, because they're cyber crime, and they're cyber crime criminals. So clearly, but just like any Bible story, just like any Matrix, we're gonna have to. We need the protagonists. We need the cult followers. We need the people that are corrupt. Okay, so this is him. So you have the Neo character, you have the Jesus character, and then you have the people that have to prosecute them, and this is it over here. And so why? And you have to ask yourself the question, this story about your life, which one do you want to be? If you live in you choose the red pill, or you choose the blue pill. Okay. If you choose the blue pill, then we know where we stand. The question is now it's not too late for you, but there are people, you could probably tell in the comments that it's too late for them, but make sure that you don't end up like this, and it's not too late for you. You still have the rest of your life to live it completely and to live it fully. And that's probably my fault, is because even after all what has happened, the worst thing, imagine what's the worst thing that could be done to me. And it already happened, and I survived. And I imagine how upset the Count of Monte Cristo actually escaped prison. Imagine, I remember one of the comments was that what was it like to to be coming home, to be getting out of prison? What is the reaction? Of course, all you have to do is ask yourself. Of course, you want to hear it from me. You want to hear it from the horse's mouth. Of course, there's going to be two reactions. Okay, there's going to be the brain dead and his cult followers. So that's their reaction. And then there's going to be the people like my family, like our supporters, and their reaction, the coming home. So there's no in between. But what's only is such a polarizing force. The idea, the cause, the movement, there's nothing in between. Either you're very happy that I came back, or that you're very miserable, like Brain Dead and his cult followers, because it's coming back at them to bite them. And we're not done with Brain Dead yet. Like I said, of course, I have to prioritize God and family first, okay, versus these cult followers and these cult leaders. They're still on my list, okay. Of course, I just have to prioritize because I'm just one person and I'm just one man. And just like this person, he's just a man also, but he can do evil things to other people. So he can have, and in his defense, how am I supposed to spend $3,000 on lechon uh, without doing this to another person? Well, there's other ways, but we won't get into that. Just like I had to pay for Hero's tuition. I didn't have to accuse somebody of rape so we could have tuition. I gave people the honest truth. And there's nothing wrong if you respect people and respect their sensibilities and their intelligence and be honest and fair with them. People will reward that. And I have been rewarded throughout the years. And I'm going to use what my experience recently and everything that I've learned so I could share, so you could learn from them also. Brain Dead, what has he experienced? What has he learned? Nothing. And so what are you going to learn from him? Nothing. Versus me, I have experienced so much. And of course, I'm going to share it with you so it doesn't happen to you also. So this doesn't happen to you. So you don't have to be accused of rape and the girl is still a virgin. So imagine that. You're a virgin, your vagina is there, but this person, it says, well, you still have to go to the exam. We can't go to the prosecution's office without an exam, a rape exam. You can't have rape without a rape exam. That's just a rule. So we're going to go ahead and do a rape exam and then present this to the prosecution. Okay, we're going to charge him with rape, but there is no rape. Okay, but we have already spent his money. Okay, we're going to charge him with rape. Okay, and then so we're going to face the judge. And the judge says, you already read what the judge says. We still need evidence of this trafficking and this rape. And there is none. And why would you do all that? Because of money. Now, like I said, the cult followers are still not going to get that. They're not going to understand. That's fine. This is their story. This is their decision. Like I said, just make sure that you don't end up the same way. And thanks again for Jim, Bob, and Quincy. That was like 2 days in a row. One morning I got a contribution. The next day I got another contribution. So the blessings are coming slowly, but they're coming. We have to count our blessings. And thanks to their blessings, we were able to cover our reservation. So God is good. This is how God's miracles work in mysterious ways, is through the works of others. So thank you very much, Jim, Bob. Thank you very much, Quincy. Even atheists, they believe in something. And if you believe, and you should believe that even though that the money was stolen, as long as you're doing right by people and you're being honest with people, not like this guy. So this guy, as you can see how this guy ended up. Okay, because what he did was evil, what he did was wrong. Okay, obviously by Western standards, but of course by local standards, he didn't do anything wrong. But by doing that, but we are in a higher level of consciousness, and this person can't achieve that level because of the desperate situation. And in his defense, it's not only him, everybody's here, but he's the police. They have secret jails, they have guns. So they're just a product of their own environment. But me, I refuse to do that. So this is how he ended up badly. And this is how I ended up. Even after he did this, and look where I'm at. Hero's back at school being achiever. He's going to be doing great in football again. And the money, yes, it was a lot of money that they stole. But as long as I'm alive and I'm doing right by others and I'm being honest and respectful for others, which Brain Dead and his cult followers have no idea what that is, and they still don't know. I have no idea why would anybody help me? Why would anybody support me? So as you can see, even though the money was stolen, it's slowly coming back, and thanks to Jim Bob, thanks to Quincy, thanks for the people that are, and thanks to even though YouTube has deleted all my. I had an interesting conversation with Quincy. One of the topics we discussed was he wished that there was somebody out there that saved all my videos after all those years. I mean, so many people. One of my favorite videos ever I remember was my tampo video when I asked the girls, let's have a tampo face off. Give me your best tampo. And it was so natural and it was so pure and innocent. And the girls did a tampo face off and they went like, yeah, sure, no problem. It's natural for me, as if it's like nothing. They knew exactly because of culture. It was such a perfect example of culture. Give me your best tampo face off. And they went off. I'm like, oh yeah. Yeah, that's some serious tampo. And they were like throwing everything on it. Yep. And clearly, hands down, the other girl had the better tampo face. And it was the most hilarious thing I ever caught on film. And depending on, it's sad that it's lost forever. I mean, and maybe through another miracle, maybe I can find those videos again. But it's with the police now, and just like my car, it's probably in pieces also, just like with everything. But we won't know. It's like I said, the story is still ongoing because of this pandemic. Every government institution is locked down. So, but just by miracle alone that I was let out. There was like a small window before the quarantine gets stricter that I was able to just pass through. I should have been out a year earlier, but because of the pandemic, three things happened. Kobe died in a plane crash, and then after that, the volcano exploded. The Taal volcano exploded, so the government shut down. And I go, I just need one more hearing, and then I can get out. And then the third day, I had the pandemic, and I was stuck. No visits, no nothing. I couldn't see my family for almost a year, and that was so tragic. The boss said it was so torture. It was so painful not being able to visit you for a year, and visiting is such a nasty process. They have to go through 4 hours waiting in line. They have to do a strip search. They go through your food. That stick that when you go through the mall, they go through your food. That they go through your purse. Same thing they do. They use that same stick on everybody's food. And imagine having to eat, and you have no choice. If you want your food to go, they'll take that same stick that they use to search on other people's things and bags and food. They'll stick it in your food, and you're just kind of thinking, I have no choice but to eat this because this is my journey through Dante. This is my journey through Inferno. This is my divine comedy. The good thing is that this is me and this guy went toe to toe, and guess who is the winner here? And thank you for Quincy, and thank you for Jim Bob. And what I have to say about Quincy and Jim Bob is they have they have a lot of experience when it comes to the Philippines. Obviously not compared to my experience, but they have enough experience, and they're able to put two and two together, and they understand my struggle and the struggles over here, and why it's important to support our cause, our movement. And even we were talking about when I was talking to Quincy, we were talking on the phone about what happened. It's not only what happened to me, and what this person did is not only affected my family, it affected other people also. Imagine, I'll give you an example. Would Attorney Mark still be alive right now if I didn't go to prison? Because the last time I saw him, he was fine, he was healthy, he was vibrant, he's bongacious. I'm trying to think of some word over here. That he was alive and thriving the last time and then I went to prison. Then all of a sudden, based on hearsay, because I was in prison, he died of a broken heart because I wasn't here. He would probably be alive, and then because of that, it's like we have to think about the consequences of our actions because several future families. I had sponsorships set up. I had relationships set up that they could have. There was the point where they were going to be another Joy. There were going to be another children of a lesser God now saved. Just like me, I'm a child of a lesser God, and I'm here to help other children of a lesser God. But while people like him don't want that, and people and Brain Dead and his cult followers don't want that. They want to keep him suppressed. They just want to keep him, oh, just rely on me for spaghetti dinners. So I'm your white God. I'm your great white hope. Okay. And I also want to clear up. It's like, okay, well, you're the one who's using, foreigners, and it's like automatically, because of your white privilege thinking, that you automatically think that you wish that it was foreigners that I want. Obviously, anyone that is a good person, that knows how to handle money, that can give them a better life. And obviously, you're going to think that I automatically want white. Maybe it's my fault. I remember I was telling that story about how my friend, who I set up with his own Filipina, and then, of course, his wife has sisters also that he was trying to set up, and he was going through these dating apps. I think Filipina Heart or something like that. And he had three parameters. He said he wanted one that was never been to the Philippines, one that's not in the military, and one that was not black. He said he wanted somebody that's white. Okay, but he might as well said to make sure that the person is not black. And I asked him that question: is that kind of racist? What happens if there's a Will Smith or there's a Kobe Bryant? And he said, yeah, but since we're starting from zero, his argument is, what happens if we end up with an OJ instead? That's the higher probability than ending up with a Oprah Winfrey or a Will Smith or a Kobe Bryant, when you're dealing with online internet dating pool, is what the point that he said. I said, good point. He said that we need some kind of parameters. And obviously, someone who's never visited the Philippines, I could probably go into that. He didn't want somebody that's already been to the Philippines who's already a monger. And number two, he didn't want somebody in the military, for obvious reasons. People in the military have their own culture. It doesn't work well with civilian culture, and that's why they have to go through an adjustment phase. And a lot of them, if they fail, if they don't go through the adjustment, they kind of get brainwashed. They kind of have this Manchurian Candidate. Oh, I haven't even never even seen that movie, and they have their own kind of set ways, which makes it difficult. Once you become a product, or just a cog of the government, you basically sell your soul. But I mean, I've never been in the military, but like I said, those were his reasons why, and I probably would agree with them. Anyway, this rant has gone long enough. Like I said, thank you again. And if you want to support, if you want to become part of the community, if you want to help out with Heroes Tuition, to show that you stand up for truth and justice and doing right by others and being respectful and being honest with each other, instead of being like this person over here, then help us out with Heroes Tuition, because it was stolen, and prove that that the all good things will be rewarded, not just punished. And the money, even though it was stolen, it'll come back, and that we have money to cover Heroes Tuition. But thanks to Quincy and Jim Bob, you could always see them making comments that we have Heroes Reservation at least covered. And for all the cult followers, I know this evidence is not going to mean anything to you. It's, even though it's black and white, you're going to continue. But there are going to be some cult followers over there that are going to maybe realize, because even Paul killed Christians. I repeat, before Paul, it was Saul. He killed Christians. And maybe you can become Paul also and find redemption. It's up to you. It's not up to me. I could help you and I could show you the path, but you still have to walk through the door. And hopefully, if it reaches one cult follower over there and turns him from Saul to Paul, if you don't know the Bible reference, I make a lot of Bible references. I'm not a Bible thumper, but I do know the stories in there, and I know how to apply it correctly versus some people that corrupt it. Anyway, the point is that look at the evidence and look at the people who are the real uh, the real evil perpetrators in this story, and make sure that you know the facts and you know the truth, and the truth will set you free. Thanks again, Jim Bob and Quincy. There's two of them. I can't thank you guys enough, and hopefully over the years we can continue, maybe one or two people, but once we become uh, a community of what we believe in, what's right, and believe that we stand for truth and justice, and then we will persevere And today was just another battle that we won. I got my freedom back. We got Hero's tuition back, and this person can no longer. But there's still others like him, and I need to make sure that I still have for the people that are saying that the police are monitoring. It's coming out. It's coming out what you guys did, slowly but surely. It's coming out, and we have to take into account what kind of consequences or what kind of effects we have, cause and effects that we have to our actions. Well, anyway, their action and the cult leader's actions and this person's actions will catch up with you. And of course, my actions, as you can see, resulted in Hero getting his tuition back through the kindness and generosity of Quincy and Jim Bob. And uh, they say that there's hope in a world that's so they're devoid of hope. There's still hope. They are the metaphors, they're the allegories, they're the symbolism of hope, when not just one individual but two individuals can find it in their heart and see the truth and support us again and give back what was taken. Anyway, if you enjoyed this video, I know the cult followers are going to be going to be miserable again. Then come to the light, and you'll find a better place. Anyway, I'll see you guys in the next vlog. This is What's Only. Thanks for watching.